Hello, hello, hello. I'm live. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So it is bulk trash day, which I did not go look around for. I was excited because we had a bunch of stuff to get rid of. So I don't think they've come to pick it up yet. So I love bulk trash day because you can put anything out there. They'll pick it up. No matter how big it is or how much junk you got, you just put anything that didn't normally fit in the bins for every other week because it's, not every week. And then you put it out there. So they're gonna pick up a bunch of stuff today. So I was all excited. But anyways, it's very sunny today, but it's not nearly as intense. But it is still pretty hot. I thought it was gonna be a little bit chillier out here because, man, where are we at? October 7th? It's crazy. It's funny how sometimes I forget how long it's hot in Vegas. You think like, oh, October is like chilly. It's like, no, it's still pretty warm. I'm here in a tank top and shorts. My famous shorts everybody loves so much. Ooh, yeah. So I'm going to do my workout. Oh, it is day 20, no alcohol, which is, I think that's a significant day. You always feel like things are like 20, 30, So that's good. And it's, I don't know how many days, but less than 30 days till, well, it depends on how many days are in the month. So what is it, 29 days now till New York. And that's going to be my last, sorry, I'm a little stoned. I actually got some good weed today. Like, we've been, really getting things that we could afford, and so the weed just was not hacking it for us. But today we stepped up a little bit, got a little bit more expensive because we realized that when we got the expensive weed everything was expensive in California, but when it was a better quality, we realized then, it really is a lot more helpful because otherwise you're kind of just wasting your money, as you're doing it, you're like, man, it didn't really work. So this morning, Richard and Annette went shopping, and that was good. She really loves going. It's really like a nice thing. I told her yesterday they were going to go, but they ended up not needing to go. But I said, do you want to go shopping with Richard if he goes today? She says, oh, yeah, now we're normal. Yeah, great. Yep. So it's cool. I really think Glory and Annette are, neither of them have left today. They're just, hanging out. I think they really missed us when we were gone, and now they're to kind of see the contrast. I think they remember what it was like, because I think we've been here 2 years almost, so they kind of forgot. And then when we were just gone it was one full day, but then 2 half days, so about 2 days total of time frame, and they really were like, oh, I'm so happy you guys are home, both of them, and they gave us big hugs and stuff. And I think it's just the house can be very lonely when it's just 2 people here. And even though it's a small place, it's only a 2-bedroom, but something about with the 4 of us here, it feels really homey, and I don't know, just you don't want to leave. But when it's just one person here, it's I don't want to be in this house. It's interesting. So I think I kind of like that we're all kind of on top of each other. Richard's always like, oh, I wish we could have a bigger place. But I'm like, I think it's kind of good. At first it was difficult, you guys know about
Janet
those
Warren says,
trials.
hi,
But
family.
hello, Janet Warren. But now, we're actually all getting along fabulous. I mean, no one's been fighting in the house on any level in a long time. I remember the last time we fought about something around here. Especially with Gloria. I don't remember the last time. That was years, at least a year ago now. I would think. Unless you guys have it documented, but it was a little sooner. But it feels like it's been a while. Could have been 6 months, but I don't even know. It feels like a long time. Because I finally chilled out, and I'm not mad at Gloria at all. I was just angry at everybody and everything. And I was just dealing with my addictions and, but and thinking I was like that sober drunk where you're dry drunk or whatever, yeah. Where you're just taking out all your anger on everybody even though you're not drinking or whatever, So now it's day 20, I'm not drinking, and the only time that'll be a question if I drink will be this November trip to New York, and then that'll be it. Then drinking won't be a part of my life anymore. and it hasn't. It's been less a part of my life than like I have drank less than I have drank in the sense of like most of the time I've been sober. Like when I drink, when I have like the craziest amount of drinking, it usually is like a month time, you know what I mean? But this went on for like a year now because I was going like, every couple of months. But normally when I drink throughout the years, it'd be like, within a month I'm like, I'm done, and then I stay sober for years, So this will be the last time in November if I end up drinking. And I might not. The more healthy I get, the less I desire drinking. And so I've just set up like, because it's interesting, this trip to New York, I was almost thinking, do I even need to go? But it's interesting, I'm coming home the day of my mom's death anniversary. So, and I've been saying, like it's kind of been like this kind of closure of my mom because it's 20 year. So I think it's a real closure with my mom, like me going to New York one more time. Because I even was like, we've already bought some of the tickets and paid for the hotels that are non-refundable. So if they were refundable, I probably would have said, you know what, let me just not go. But I think it's important that I'm going this final time. Because actually me and Rich are having a really good time going to LA, and that's going to be what we're going to keep doing. So, but I feel like for whatever reason the universe wants me to go have my closure with New York, because maybe I would be sad if I didn't go there one more time. Because when I'm going to go there, I'm going to kind of like, and now I may go again in the future, but it's not going to be like for a long time, So, and it might be never, So
Matthew T says, "Hey Joy, you're looking nice and healthy today."
Oh, thank you. So when I go in November, I want to make sure like I get the photos of places that maybe I hadn't got. That go, I should go to this one place and get some photos, And then I'm going to do my workout over here in a sec. And then also kind of like say bye to some people, because I was seeing some people pretty frequently when I was going. I see a lot of the same people, and I'm not necessarily going to tell them I'm never coming back, but in my mind I'll kind of be like, and that in a way it would make it a little better, because sometimes when you think you have to keep doing the same routine over and over, it can be draining. But when I'll be like, this is my last trip, I'll kind of enjoy every moment more, if that makes sense. Because last time I knew I was coming back right away in November when I was there. When I was there in when was that? September now? September. But this time it might be my last. These glasses might fall off. So I might take them off while I'm doing my push-ups actually, because they're gonna fall off. They don't stay on. Those are my nicest pair of glasses. I really wear them because they don't stay on my head good. They fall off. But I was gonna try today to like stick them through my hair. But I really like them. They're the prettiest ones I have and the nicest ones. The ones are like $10 glasses that you buy it like on the corners in New York City. I always buy glasses when I'm there, and they're usually terrible. But they're the ones I use. Okay, I'm gonna try to do 20 push-ups here. I don't remember. We lost track of how many days it was working out, and then I went to LA from Friday to Sunday, and so I didn't work out those days. So I know now I've worked out Monday and Tuesday again, but we're not gonna do the countdown because that's just irritating every time I take a break on it. So, okay, but I'm gonna try to do 20 push-ups here. I normally can do these, but these days not as much. All right. Actually, I think it's better. Let's see. Okay. Actually, probably. There's like this little crack right there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I know they were not all the way done, you guys. But, I'm just not getting. It takes a minute to bounce back when you drink. You think it's gonna be quicker, and it's as quick as you want. Oh, sometimes I have more energy than other days, though, man. It really isn't just a straight line when you're getting fit or trying to get healthy or getting off of an addiction. It's like some days you feel better than other days, at least for me. Let me move that mop. That's gross. By the way, should I close that so and then put the?
No, I'm gonna head out here.
What? What do you mean?
I'm gonna head back there.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, now I'm gonna do 200 crunches. So this is my little like 5 to 10 minute workout I've been trying to do for I don't know, a couple of weeks now. I think we started this, but then I went to LA and didn't do it when we were in LA. Could have very easily too. I get lazy. Well, I was busy working, so I wasn't really lazy. All right, I'm gonna do 100 crunches like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. My hair's just like hitting the thing to make noise. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Alright. So my hair, I know, is probably a really annoying sound. It's hitting the mat. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna do 50 each way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, I'm gonna 50 the other way. Sorry about the hair in the mat. Might be annoying with the mic right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. See, another thing we need to throw out if Richard comes out here for bulk day. Richard, if you're listening, I hope they haven't picked up. The little table needs to be thrown out. All right. I love book day. Because, you always have a little too much trash for it. We have a little bin. We need to get the bigger ones. And so I wait for bulk day. And then it's smelly. Because if things are, if it doesn't fit, even waiting a week, I wish they picked up trash more often. My other one's crazy. A week, this stuff gets smelly. And put in the black bags and tie them really good, but still. a week of trash. I can't take it in the garage anymore. We had to put them outside. Because we had them, I guess most people put them outside. But around here, we had them in the garage. Too many people around here keep them in the garage. Oh, I couldn't take it sometimes, the smell. So I put them in. Oh, that table needs to go. The black one. Yeah. Have they come yet?
Let me check.
Yeah. If they've come, then we'll get it next time. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go sit in my chair. So, oh no, I haven't done my nunchucks. Nunchucks. I was like, I felt like my workout isn't done. Not that I do that. Oh, my long workout. Let me get my nunchucks. So I'm gonna do nunchucks, and then we're just gonna sit and do my lunch. Hey, I guess what, you guys? Good news for everybody. I did order a pair of shorts, but the problem is I don't know if I'm gonna like them, so we'll see. They're Roxy. Oh, hi, Nitty Girl. Oh, that does need to go. Have they not come yet?
He's coming.
Huh?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, careful. Hold on, sweetie. Yeah, tilt it more. There you go. You got it? All right. Okay, don't take my mat. I want anybody taking my mat. That was glorious. Fine. Oh, okay, let me move this. And you guys are looking at the floor. Look at my feet. Hello, everybody. Let's move you up. Damn it, hey, you can see me. Hello. There you go. I'm listening to Tate McRae, per usual. Yeah, they get rid of some. Should get rid of some of these chairs. There are too many, but there's nothing wrong with them. There's just a lot of them. I don't know where I want to say it is. It's a little hot, but I think I can sit in the sun. Could be all right. Let me get my chair. Oh no, I'm doing that. What is? Okay, I got stoned today. I keep forgetting what I'm doing. I got my nunchucks. I think I finally got stoned. I haven't been getting stoned the other week. Just not cutting the mustard. Not been cutting the mustard. Now I finally got stoned. I'm like, can't even remember what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna do some nunchucks for everybody. People are like, how do you guys lose so much weight? I don't know when it's crappy. It's like, I don't feel anything. I gotta do some more. Still don't feel nothing. Okay, this is one of those, you gotta do 3 in a row. We'll say that sometimes if we have to buy cheap weed. See, that just means it's bad. It means it's terrible. Alright, I hope my glasses don't fall off. So why I don't wear these. They're Michael Kors, they're not that expensive. I think they were like, there's originally like 60, but we got them for cheap of that on Amazon. But normally I pay like $10 for glasses. Because I don't mind if I drop them, they don't scratch and stuff. But these ones I don't want to drop, because that's a lot for me. I'm such a cheapskate. I mean, we don't have that much money. And this was like a couple years ago. These are my only pair that I've had for like a couple years now that are actually nice. Okay. I'm like falling these rocks today. Oof. I know, I'll hurt myself in a minute here. We got rid of Casper's first cage today. So we had it back here, we're like, what do we need this for? This is just trash. We're not gonna put him back in that cage ever, and I don't see us getting another bunny. As wonderful as he is, it's a lot of work taking care of a bunny. He's always needs to be entertained. He hated when we were gone. He threw a little fit when we got home because he was so mad we were gone for like a whole day, but 2 nights, you know, but a whole day he was by himself, you know, because we left on Friday and came back on Sunday. Saturday, he spent the entire day by himself. He's never done that. I felt so bad. he was pretty mad when we got home. He let us know. He throws little fits. He throws little tantrums, Casper. He's very expressive. People think that's me like, no, you can totally tell. He's very expressive of what he wants and stuff. And you know, I can't fully understand him, but you can figure out what he, and then you do that thing, and then he's all happy, you know, so you kind of figure out. And there's only a couple things that he usually wants, so it's pretty easy, but yeah, he likes to let us know, and he'll just pout under the bed if we don't do it. Or he starts coming at me like, not like too aggressive, but he'll just like keep like, he won't leave me alone. He'll just be like, you know, like, he does a little darting thing, but he doesn't hurt you. It's not like, he doesn't like bite or like scratch you. He just kind of like darts at you. He'll be walking and you'll almost step on him or trip because he'll be under the bed and you'll be walking because I'll be walking and he'll just like come out from really fast under the bed and like, whoa, Casper, hold on there, buddy. You're gonna get stepped on one of these days. All right, I think I'm good. It's actually pretty warm out here, so I feel a little lightheaded. So I'm gonna sit in the chair and grab my water. Cause actually, yeah, it's pretty, you could almost still go to the pool. I thought it was not warm enough today. Vegas is crazy how long it stays warm. Oh, we loved the weather in Los Angeles. There was sometimes I didn't even have to have sunglasses. Very rarely, I still had to have them most of the time there. I have the most sensitive eyes. It sucks. Where should I go without sunglasses? I'm like, my eyes are bleeding. So when we were in the water, he had said to bring the goggles, and I left them in the car. We brought them to LA, but they're in the car. I forgot why we needed the goggles. I'm like, we don't need our shower caps, the swim caps, because the chlorine. And what we need the goggles for? The goggles for is so that you can see out there. It's so bright, you know, when you're in the ocean. And we have the ones that are tinted, so they're like sunglasses in the water. And oh yeah, that would have been helpful. They were in the car. So you guys saw probably on the blog, some of you that were watching. Oh, where should I get? Can I get in the shade a little bit or no?
Yeah, come on in the shade.
Oh, that'd be. Or is it better in the sunlight?
Get in the light for sure.
Well, can I get a better angle a little bit maybe? So this is better.
I think that's good. Like, just right there. Perfect.
This is a little better. Pretty intense right there. It's like, yeah, that's way better. Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, that's still pretty bad. Okay. Excuse me for taking big gulps on the microphone. Oh, it's thirsty. It actually is pretty warm. So what, do you know what the temperature is today, Richard?
Huh?
Do you know what the temperature is today?
Not on top of my head now.
Yeah, it's still pretty warm. I thought it'd be a little cooler being it's October 7th, but that's one thing I do love about Vegas. So it was really awesome being in LA for the weather, and the air is, you know, there used to be so much smog there, but we didn't experience any. I don't know if there's certain areas or if they've kind of cleared that up, because I know they're stricter with their smog laws, and then also a lot of the electric cars have helped. But the air was very clear, and there was a insane contrast of like literally once we left Nevada and once we went, I mean maybe not like at the borderline, but not far after the borderline, because you start to get in the mountains, we were able to roll down the windows and you could just like be like, oh, breathe the air. It was like you could smell and breathe that it was like California and not Nevada. It's interesting, there is quite a contrast because Nevada is desert, you know, so you're driving out of the desert into a state that is not desert, you know, and so it does occur like pretty close to the line there, the borderline, and you're like, wow, you can just tell we're in California. So the entire time we were in California, we had the windows down and the sunroof open, which we never use our sunroof in Vegas because it's too hot. It like the sun like beats into your car, and we used to when we first got to Vegas, and we would get like sunburns that were really awkward because they'd come from when you're in the car with the sunroof open. So you have like weird lines of like your seatbelt or, you know, however your legs are if they're on top of each other. But we stopped doing that at some point, and you even have to close the thing, you know, and so you kind of never really get to look out unless it's like nighttime because it's really intense here. So there are some things that are like really neat that you're like, oh, this is where you want to have a convertible. Not in Nevada. And I'm from California, so it was nice to go home, and I've felt much better since I've got back, which we got back on Sunday, and each day I'm kind of feeling like I'm getting a little bit more out of like my funk. I was in a really deep depression, and I do that occasionally, but I'm hoping I stop doing that. But my mom, you know, did that, and so I just kind of like it might even be when I go into depression. There's times when she did. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because like when I was a child, it would happen. So I have like certain times a year, and especially when it's close to when my mom died. But I think each time I kind of like work through these things, and maybe all these crazy things happen, you know, that are like, oh, but then each day I feel like get stronger, you know, and I feel really strong today. Like I just feel like, I don't know, like things are really gonna work out, you know, like, and I'm gonna, you know, stay healthy. And like I think I was scared, thinking like if I keep going to New York forever, like I'm gonna be, even if I stay sober, I'm just gonna be challenged with this, like where it's just like every day is a challenge. It's like if you just are getting sober, you don't maybe want to walk into a bar every single day when you first are getting sober, you know, or do the thing that you love to do when you drink, like maybe watch sports and you drink. Like you have to avoid some of those things. So like going to New York to me is so much of like just associated with alcohol now, where California's not. And it was still a little bit of, because like I felt even like the travel, but then once I got to California, I didn't feel the way I feel in New York. One thing, I had Richard with me, but also it's like it's sunny there, and we were like going to the beach, and like it was just a different sort of thing. It felt like more a healthy vibe than in New York. It feels like, you know, it's often cold, and you go and you know you get your pizza and your beer or whatever, and you just like you hole up in your room, you know, and I've just very much associated New York with drinking, and so I just feel really good that this is my last trip. And there was part of me that was like, oh, do I even want to go this last trip? But then I think the fact that it's all set up and, you know, a lot of it's paid for, then it's just so that I couldn't back out, because it's like I think I need to go and I need to have my closure there. I think that will help me grow as a human being. Because I was very affected when my mom died. I know people are like, it's been 20 years, but like, my mom was my best friend. Like, I was insanely close with my mom, you know, and I can't talk about it much because I literally would still cry even like 20 years later. But, I don't want to get this up. But, everyone knew like I was going to be the one that was not going to do well when she died. You know, it was like everybody knew that, because it was always me and my mom. My sister was around, but not really, you know, so it was always me and my mom. And so I thought I could be stronger than that, you know, and be like, oh, I'm gonna do so well. But then, like I was saying yesterday, it's like, I'm glad I didn't, but now I'm like, I can't believe that, like, even at 20 years, I can't even talk about it. I'll still cry. Do you know, before my mom died, I was not a crier. Like, people would make fun of me because I wouldn't cry in movies, like sad movies. I'd be like trying to cry and be like, why is everyone crying? I mean, it's just a movie, you know. I couldn't cry, and they were like, ah, you have a hard heart. And everyone would die. I'd be like feeling bad because like dudes would be crying and I wouldn't be crying. I'm like, oh. And then when my mom died, it was like waterworks, and it's never stopped since the last 20 years. So for like 20 years I didn't cry, and then for 20 years it's been like floodgates. And it does get annoying because people think you're unstable when you cry, but it's a sadness, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not that, I mean, I probably am stable, but no, but it's a sadness. So like when someone dies, when you think of them, you're just sad, you know? So you try to, like, if there was something that was significant to you, you know, very significant. And so you try to kind of like live your life not thinking about them that much. But it's hard. I don't know. Some people maybe just got over their loved ones and move on, and not so. It makes them sad every time. But yeah, for me. But I feel like I'm trying to have the closure with that. So maybe like going to New York, kind of saying bye to my mom. That's her hometown, and then kind of just, it'll be good. Because it's weird that the date that I'm coming home is the date of her death anniversary. Like, we didn't try for it to be that way. Like, I was knowing that I was going in November, and I was like, wouldn't that be cool if I'm there on November 18th? But we looked at the dates, and it was like I needed to leave on the 6th, and I always come home on the, it's a Monday, I believe, right? Yeah, it's a Monday. And, it's a Monday. Yeah, it's a Monday. And so I'm like, there's so many dates now, you guys. I'm like, I always come home, and then I'm like, what, on a Monday? Because when we came back from LA, it was Sunday. And it happens to be November 18th. And so it's kind of like, well, I just feel like it's a good closure for me, kind of. And I do want to make sure I get, any souvenirs that I thought I'd, get the next time or whatever. Somebody's like, oh, maybe next time I come to New York, I'll think about getting that and see if there's anything. Because we have a lot of New York stuff, but it might be my last time going. So if there's anything, I was like, oh, we might be missing this one New York thing. So we are like decked out with New York stuff. Because every time I go, I get everybody like New York shirts, New York hats, and mainly that. We have a lot of hats, but and when I first went, I would get, there was these stores that were going out of business. Some of these little souvenir shops that go out of business, that's where I shop. There's enough of them, you find one that's going out of business, I'll tell you, especially these days after COVID. So they'll put like 70% off of everything. So that's where I get all those little things, everything that says New York, the stickers, and so I would never pay the prices oh geez. So when it's a store that's not, I'm like, oh, which one's going out of business? Like I got this little, it was like a flannel. I'm gonna bring that next time I go because that actually is very good for New York. It's like this flannel button-up shirt. It looks like it's a boy's. It's a man, the young guys, the youth one, the boys' shirts. And the guy had all this stuff in front of his store. He's going out of business. It was a clothing store, and I said, and things were like $5. And I, oh, this is fabulous. So I got that shirt, and then the next time I'm coming, I got a dress that's plaid too. But I go into the store, I'm there going to business, and it's beautiful. Like it's like a snakeskin like jacket, but it seems like it's like real leather looking, and it's pretty, but it's not something I really want that bad. And I said, oh, how much is that? I'm thinking, like $20. He's like, oh, that thing was $3,000 jacket, and I don't believe that it was $3,000 jacket in my mind, but I'm like, whatever, okay, yeah, and then I'll sell you for $60. I'm like, I don't want it for $60. He was like all offended. I'm like, I'll come back. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I thought we were like doing the $5, $10 bins here. Like, I don't want a $60 jacket that I don't like that much. So I was such a cheapskate in New York. But it's embarrassing. They like hold you to it, and you're just like, oh, and then they're like, oh, I'll come back, and you're like, I wanted the thing if it was like $5, $10. Sometimes I'll grab a T-shirt and I go to the front and I go, how much is $40? Like, oh no, I'm good. There you go. No. I say, if you say $40 for one T-shirt, I don't really want to shop at your store. That's too much money. I'm thinking like $10, $20 at most for a T-shirt. This says like New York or something. If you quote me, I'm thinking $40 for the sweatshirt, and that. It's weird. They'll say $40 for the sweatshirt and $40 for the T-shirt. I say, no, you need to scam me on the T-shirt, then I'll take the sweatshirt. But I'm like, no. If you already quoted me $40, I know you're trying to rip me off. So I'm going down the way where are they going out of business? Where you're gonna be next trip? I'll come check you out when you're going out of business. It is bad. They would totally rip off the people. It's like if they did better deals, and I do. I'll find the ones that they have all these signs saying 2 for $20, on the sweatshirts. I'm like, or not. 2 for $40 on the sweatshirts, 2 for $20 on the T-shirts. Oh, yeah, I went down the way. I mean, there's like a million of them. But, oh, yeah, you're too expensive. I'm going to go over there. No, he's better advertising over there. You're trying to scam everybody. So, anyways, but it will be fun to go one more time when I think about it. But I am ready to, I think, kind of close that chapter. And I felt like I wasn't going to be ready. Like, I felt like I was going to be like, oh, I want to keep going to New York. But I think I'm ready. I feel ready after this trip. So I'm going November 6th through the 18th, and then that will probably be my last New York trip. And then me and Rich are just going to do LA trips like we did, where we just go from a Friday to a Sunday. So then, I mean, it's not ideal for Gloria, Nanette, and Casper, but they can handle it. I mean, they all did well, and Casper, was a little mad, and Gloria and Nanette just missed us. They weren't mad, they just were like, missed us. But I don't want to go any more days than that, because that would be too much for everybody, because it's 2 nights. It's 1 full day, but 2 nights. And like with Casper, I'm sure didn't like spending nights by himself. He's been so social now. The first day he threw a little fit, but now, which was Sunday, he threw a fit. But Monday, he came out about half day, and then he was out. And now all of Monday and the rest of Monday and Tuesday, he's just been like so social. And me and him had so many, I lay down in front of him. The reason I have to lay down with him, he doesn't like to be held. He used to when he was a little baby, he don't want nothing to do with being held. That's why it's hard taking him to the vet, because I have to pick him up. I mean, I'm able to pick him up, but he doesn't fight me, but he doesn't like it. Like, he's just like, he lets you know he's not a fan of being picked up. But when he was a baby, he liked being held, and I used to hold him all the time. He was so cute. But so I have to pick him up and put him in the. We just bring him. They got a kick out of it. They said they've seen it a million times, but it actually works fabulous. I need to get one of those things. He would hate one of those cages because then I couldn't like kind of pet him, and he tried to jump out. So I put him in my big hamper. That's a white one with all the. It's a plastic one with a bunch of holes in it, and then I'll put the lid, but I prop it up, and then Rich drives, and then I just pet him the entire time, and he's on. I put him on a towel and give him some food down there. And he's not a fan of going to the vet. But I think if he was in one of those cages for the animals, he would not like that at all. I don't think I could even get him in those things. He would just be like fighting me. But he knows the hamper we're going, because he trusts the vet even though he doesn't like it. They've never hurt him. They just gave him shots when he needed his immunizations or whatever. And then they did neuter him. But I think at the end of the day, they say he feels better after that. They say when the male bunnies need to be neutered, like they are getting, like it gets painful for them. So they feel better when you do neuter them. But I was so nervous, I thought that would make him feel worse. But it definitely made him lazy. He just eats all day. I was talking about my bunny. But anyways, I love bunnies. But yeah, so it's day 20, no alcohol. But it feels like day 1 of some actual good weed. So I feel really good today. The weed we got, I don't know, Richard picks it out. He's better at picking out weed. I used to do it so we started smoking weed in 2016, but it hasn't been consistently. There were times we stopped smoking weed since 2016, but we had never smoked weed before 2016. We both had tried weed, but we didn't smoke weed. And we didn't like it. Like, we both tried it and like, no. Like, we turned down weed, But in 2016, it was legalized here, but still we didn't want to do it. But then we ended up taking a trip to Aspen, Colorado, because that's where Richard had worked when he was in his early 30s. And he wanted to show me the Little Nell, which was the restaurant he worked at, and show me like where he had lived. And we ended up staying at this really cool little hotel. But man, they're a fortune up there. We went not during the snow season. We went like July 4th of July. But yeah, it's so expensive, but it's very beautiful up there. And while we were there, we were like, let's get some edibles. And they had chocolates, because we weren't on this diet then. They had chocolates, and they had these mints. And we got both those. Oh, we had the best time. But I remember when we went into the dispensary, because they had, you didn't have to have a medical card or anything. It was recreationally legal there. So we just walked in. You just needed your ID. And the lady says, "Is this your first time?" We're like, yeah. She's like, "Oh, I wish this was my first time." She says, "This will be your guys' best time. It'll never be like this again." And we're like, well, you shouldn't say that. It sounds depressing. But she's so right. I mean, we laughed so much. We took this gondola ride. So there was no snow. It's when you take the gondola that they normally take, to go to the snow. It's for skiing. But you go up there, and then you can go on a hike. And they have the thing, they have restaurants up there or whatever, what they have when you are skiing. But we go up there, and we were still drinking at the time. But this was a short time that we were drinking. So it was like it was another time that we had stopped drinking and then started drinking. And so we went to Aspen and we were drinking while we were there, but while we were there, we stopped drinking because of the weed. So the weed helped with that. But so we were going to the bars, and then we say we're going to go on a hike. And we were not in shape. We were like, this is when we were not healthy. And we're like, let's take the gondola up. And we just did these edibles, and I'm laughing the entire way up about nothing. Like, just laughing. Like, we're just like making each other laugh about absolutely nothing. It was so fun. And then we get to the top of the hill, and then we walk about, I don't know, like 10 feet. And then we're just like, do you really want to go on a hike? And I was like, absolutely not. And he's like, oh, fabulous. I'm so glad you said that. So then we go sit in these chairs, because it was like this nice area. And we just like sat there and just like laughed the whole time. We're like, it's nice to not like have to do something just because you thought you were going to do it. And it was kind of our first moment of realizing like we could just kind of do what we want, not what we think we have to do, And so we kind of helped us figure out what we like doing, but we do like being healthy. That's not a have to for us. Like, we enjoy that. We don't like being unhealthy. So I like working out, not a ton. I'm not like one of those 8 hours at the gym, get the heck out of here. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen with me. Not gonna happen. I'll be there. 2 hours was the most we did. I'm good. I'm good at 2 hours. I'm like, okay, can we go? It's time to go. I'm ready. I'm done. I'm done. That's enough. Let's go. But I do my short little workouts, but that makes me feel better. And then I'm eating healthier, you know, since I've gotten back from New York. So I don't even know how many days I've been back from New York. Oh, I guess the amount that I'm sober, 20 days, because I got back on the 16th, and then I got sober on the 17th, so, yeah, so I've been back 20 days. Same number. That's convenient. That makes it easy. Yeah. This is what I like to do. So what's going to happen if I do drink, this will be my last time, and you guys can hold me all to that, and I'm excited about it. I'm actually really excited. I think knowing that, and I might not even drink. The more I think about it, I'm like, do I even want to? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, but I'm giving myself the space to say, Joy, if you need that, close with your mom, you know, the thing, like, that's it, and then be done with it. Done, because it doesn't work in your life. But I think that each day I get closer, and I think it will be like 50 days when I get there, right? Around there. I don't know if I'll want to, like, mess up my sobriety again. So, but if I do, like I said, this will be it. And then there's no more New York trips, and in LA, it's just, I don't know, going to the beach, I'm not one of those like, oh, let me go wasted and go to the beach. It's just never been something I did. I went to the beach as a child, and we boogie boarded. Actually, we were talking about getting boogie boards is what we're going to do next time we go, which we'll probably go before my New York trip one time to LA, and then I'll go to New York, and then I probably won't go to LA for a bit after I go to New York, because in LA, I'm only kind of making enough of what we need because we're getting behind. So people think, oh, you guys have this, we're getting behind in Vegas. So like when we just went to LA, we were behind, so we were already like in the negative. So a lot of the money went to just get us caught up, and then there's the regular bills. So if we don't go soon, we'll get behind again. So we're kind of like, you know, seeing the future here of like, let's not do that again. And so once we start going, if we go more, then we won't be so like where we're like, you know, desperate each time. So that where when I go to New York, I go, but if I don't make enough, I end up like, you know, not being as productive as I should. Then when I come home, the money doesn't stretch as long. And people have these numbers they're throwing out. These numbers are not right. I don't know. People exaggerate everything. So I just laugh. But that's not how much I made. If I made that much, we would have such a nicer setup. But anyways, you know, we're just making what we need to get by, and people get on us for smoking the weed, but without the weed, man, I am so grumpy, and so is Rich. And it's like, it's just not a pleasant environment. So the weed is kind of like a necessity, and it's like our medicine, but it's like without it, the house kind of sucks. So even if like okay, you have nicer walls, but we're pain in the necks, and we're just irritable and mean and grumpy, because me and Richard are grumpy people without weed. And it actually makes us a little less grumpy. We're still very grumpy. I mean, me and Richard go at each other. We've been doing that for years. And it's just like how we interact. It's like, and then other people are like, you guys are mean. But like there's times that we're not that way to each other. But like our a lot of times are like, because we like to get things done. So like when we're in like kind of like work mode, in the sense of like, even if it's something like with filming, because you know you have a limited time. So we'll get, and we're like, you know, like not like nice. We're just like, because me and Rich have done a lot of times like when we were moving or trying to catch planes or catch trains or catch buses, you know, there's not a lot of like, oh, let me see how, oh, like nice things. You just say, let's go, you know what I mean? So we know that doesn't mean we don't love each other anyway. I mean, that's just, we know that's like, right now we're not in that lovey-dovey mode, but we don't do, I'm not a big PDA person, so you guys aren't gonna see our more lovey-dovey moments. People are always like, oh, and when we've taken photos, I don't think you should always take photos that are like all kissing. We do those once in a while, but those just seem cheesy. We do them as kind of like a cheesy, funny thing. But yeah, so I've never been a PDA person ever in my life. I feel like it should be something put behind closed doors. My dad, maybe that's because my dad and stepmom were so PDA. It was embarrassing. They were like making out, like, because they got married when I was 7. They got together when I was 6. They were too old. They were like in their 30s. They were too old to be like, I guess there was, my dad, I guess, was only 27. I guess. Well, no, he was in his 30s. Yeah, he was in his 30s. Yeah, because he had me when I was, they were 25, my mom and him. But, so he's like 32. But it was embarrassing to have your dad and stepmom's like we're in the pizza place, you know, waiting for the pizza. They're just like making out for like a long time, like all his tongue and stuff. This doesn't seem appropriate. These family institutions, even at church and stuff. So after witnessing that for years as a kid, I was just like, I just don't ever want to put other people through this. It's awkward. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're all by yourself on the beach and it's a romantic setting, but I don't think there's tons of people around. You don't need to watch your intimate moment. It's weird. I don't know. Everyone can give their opinions of that, but I just think it's weird. So I keep my PDA in private, except for when it gets out for my business. Other than that. But even that, I've kind of gotten rid of a lot of the stuff that I didn't want people to keep kind of taking and making a big deal about everything. Things seem to be getting better with everything now. With like, it seems like everything is like, I feel like I'm getting a lot more love than hate, so it's really good. And it feels like I don't know. I don't know. I would hope that people would all start being nicer to each other. I mean, there's like no reason really to keep hating, you know. It's just like in society everyone's just so on hate. But it actually feels so much better when you're nice. Like I was being really mean, you know, at the beginning of this channel, but I didn't mean it to be that way. Like at first, you know, we were trying to do a positive thing, but then when we felt that we were getting attacked, then we like lashed out towards the people, and that wasn't right, you know. Just because someone attacks me doesn't give me the right to lash out back at them, you know. And but you excuse yourself because they did like tit for tat, but you know you can always be the one that is the bigger person, and you know just says, you know, turns the cheek or whatever. So it feels good. Like I'm really trying to not get upset, and it definitely helps not drinking. Because I think when you drink, you just kind of get like 0 to 60 like real fast, you know. So you don't feel upset until like someone says like, because I know most of the times I ever had a big incident when I drank, I couldn't pinpoint what set me off most of the time. It would be like the most minuscule thing, and I'd be like, because me and Richard tried to like backtrack sometimes if it was something that I've lived with him over the years, and I'd be like, what was it? Why was I mad? And he'd be like, oh, because this. And I'd be like, you're kidding. Like, that's what set me off for this whole whirlwind of me just, like, getting so angry, you know, like, ranting and raving. Because when I used to drink back in the day, I would just yell about the stupidest thing. Not even just, like, yelling, but like, nagging, you know, going like a chihuahua. Just terrible. And Richard sometimes would film me, and I'd be like, why was I upset that time? Because I wouldn't remember often, because I would pass out and not remember it a lot. And then he'd be like, oh, I had to deal with this all night. About nothing. Like, being mad about nothing. And then I'd finally be like, you're not listening to me. After you'd be listening to me for like 3 hours. I'm going to leave. I'm tired, you're not listening to me. And you'd be like, I've been listening to you for like 3 hours. Yeah, I wouldn't be aware. Because when you drink, you lose track. The other people, oh my gosh, being sober around a drunk person is terrible. That's why I don't ever do that to Richard. But like this New York thing was like, I was allowing that because I was by myself, and and he was even allowing because he's like, you know, whatever you have to go through, Joy, to work through your issues and stuff. But if it's continued, it would not be good for my health. I mean, I did not feel well this last year when I came home. Oh, the 17th was a hard day. And it wasn't a hard day like I wanted to drink. It was just a hard day from the withdrawals. Like, I already decided I didn't want to drink. So, but I was like, let's go with these withdrawals. Because I only was going to be delaying it like another day or two. Like, I couldn't keep drinking. And you guys think, oh, why doesn't Joy just sneak it from Richard? Oh, no, I'm not I'm a drinker. Like, you're not going to, like, it's going to be in about a drink and a half, you're gonna know I'm drunk. You know what I mean? This is no like sneaking alcohol. Like maybe, but it's like for a second. But no, I really kind of, it's like the werewolf thing. Oh, are they coming for I don't know if they're coming for the bulk day or for recycling. They already got the trash. There's like 3 people that come on these days. They come for the trash really early in the morning, like real early. And then they come, I think usually for the bulk, and then like usually the recycling is the latest. But today Richard and Annette had to go to like a couple stores because they were like out of the beef at the at like the Smiths and the Albertsons. So we got we're gonna have Sprouts beef today, which sounds great. And I'm feeling really good doing my beef. I'm doing it at less oil. I was doing too much oil. You know, I never really liked the oil. Remember, I'd always say I wouldn't. And then I was starting to kind of do more oil. So I seem to feel better. It's not a thing of like feeling bad. It's I feel that when I consume too much oil, like the olive oil, I feel really sagged down. Like I get very lethargic. I don't want to get out of bed, which then makes me more depressed because then I'm like in bed all day and I have no energy to get out of bed, which then, you know, it's like this vicious cycle. So I found like this morning I did mine without oil and I feel a lot more energy, but I still always burn out at some point because I'm just someone, I don't have like I have like sort of energy where I can like do a certain amount of things, but I've always been someone like and then I'm done, you know, then I'm like, okay, I'm good, and then I need like to like rest for like X amount of time. I'm not someone that can go like forever. Richard seems like he can just go forever with things. Like he doesn't sleep nearly as much as me. I've always been quite a sleeper, and not always at the same time. Like often I'll take a nap during the day and then at night and stuff, but my job sometimes keeps me up, and so then I tend to be more grumpy if I don't get a lot of sleep. I think I am someone that really likes sleep. Richard's always like kind of fascinated with that, and it's not a, people think it's, I mean, I sleep too much when I'm depressed, but even when I'm not depressed, I mean, I still like going to bed like 8 p.m. By 8 p.m. I'm like, oh no, we're not going out. No, you're kidding, right? It better be something very, very important for get me out past 8 p.m. I mean, I'll work, I will, and something very significant, like, you know, a holiday or someone's birthday that we need to go to or something that's very important. But at 8 I'm like, hey, no, not yet, no. And then I just like sleeping. And if I put those shades and music on, I will sleep forever. I actually don't do that too often because I will sleep so long it scares me. I'm like, oh my god, how long was I asleep? But I like to hear sounds that will wake me up. So sometimes I'll do the one ear while I sleep if it's too loud. Because everyone in the house listens to music. And I love music, but all of the distractions of all the different music when I'm trying to go to sleep, because it'll be like Annette's music and Gloria's music, and then the Rich likes the TV, and so I'll put my ear thing, and then it's like all these noises, but I only hear mine the most, so everyone listens to their own music. But if I put the shades on in both ears, I'm like never gonna wake up. They're like, you need that beauty rest. I'll be like Sleeping Beauty there. So in New York, I don't ever do that because I feel unsafe when I'm by myself. Here, I feel safe enough. That's the thing of like having Richard around. Like I feel I can block out everything, and if there was like literally a fire, he would wake me up. You know what I mean? So I can feel like I can just tune out everything and just like kind of relax and kind of like meditate. But in New York, I never feel I can because I feel like I need to be listening in case, you know, in case they're calling from home or in case, you know, work. But I think that's why it's extra stressful there. I never get that like kind of meditative thing where I get that a lot with Richard. It is really nice. I realize like I've been married for 11 years and with him for 13. It is really nice to have like someone that you can fully rely on, you know. And it does suck being single. I mean, it's fun in the sense of like your life is a lot more wild when you're single. You know, you're like, you know, you do whatever you want. You know, you kind of get to like, but it's always really scary when you're like fully on your own. And even though like me and Richard like, you know, had like a lot of things we've gone through, we always knew that we would take care of each other, you know, and we've kind of pushed the limits to kind of like even test our relationship. And those times that we tested it of like, you know, when we lived in the cave and stuff are our favorite moments, you know, so I don't regret any of the things that we've done. And when we look back, we just have so many wonderful photos, and I was posting some today. I posted those ones to YouTube because it was showing someone. I don't know, all those moments just make me laugh. We've had like so many different styles and looks, and there's times that we looked older and younger, and it wasn't necessarily in chronological order. It was according to our health. So you can see the times that like we look much older. Well, now we're older. Now we do so much. But there were times that like there's photos I rarely post from 2014 that I looked older than I looked in 2016. But that's when I was extremely unhealthy with my eating disorder. And I don't even like posting those photos because like my face was really gaunt. I look like the people. It just disturbs me a little bit. Like I look like those people that did the Ozempic face, you know? Because if you lose weight improperly and unhealthily, your face will get really gaunt, and then you look like a skeleton. And you look like an old person, because old people have skinny faces. You know, I mean, young people are supposed to have full faces, and then when I mean young, you know, everyone's young. When I say I'm old, it's just more like joking. I know 40 is not that old, but it is much different than 20 or 30. And I didn't realize how different it was because everyone's like, oh, 40 is like 20, 30. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. No, I could clearly feel the difference. Like, as I'm 40, I'm just like things are, I'm like, oh, I remember just like doing a cartwheel, and I was like, oh man, I don't even know. And the first one I like fell. I was like, yeah, figures. I'm 40 now. And then I did it, but just last year I felt strong. But then also I've kind of had a whirlwind year, you know. But I wouldn't say I was that healthy even right before this all started. I think I was too thin and stuff, so I'm liking having a little more weight on me. I didn't ever want to be that thin. I just kind of like, everything kind of got out of control, you know, where I didn't know how to not do what I was doing. So now I feel like both me and Richard are not trying to be like, we were really thin. We were doing this thing where we were like trying to be like super elite fit, where you like when we were in Panama swimming every day. But we don't really want to be like that anymore. I think it made us look old. You know, we're too bony. So we're kind of enjoying it a little bit more. Like Richard loves his hot dogs, and we've been doing a lot of other meats. So like he got like a chuck roast, and I'll have some of that, or like steak and stuff. So and even like some pork. And I was even doing some bacon and avocado for a minute, but I'm kind of done with that for a minute. But it was really good for a minute. So when I feel like I need the extra things, and then we've been doing like some kale or collard greens. So, and we used to do that, and then we kind of went where we were like all protein, and I like got like rail thin, and I think you kind of, I see other people do it sometimes, and people are doing it with Ozempic. You just kind of lose track, and you think like, oh, you look better when you're more ripped, you know what I mean? But there's like a limit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can be ripped because you're like bones. I mean, like where you're like, oh, I know, oh, look at that, you know, I mean, all muscle and bones. Yeah, but it doesn't look good, you know? And so I do see people when they first lose weight, and so what happened was, I wasn't ever trying to lose weight. I was trying to get healthy. But Richard was overweight. So I was doing an eating disorder that was causing my husband to be heavy because he wasn't fully engaging in the eating disorder, but eating the food like I was. So it was like I'm all skinny and he's super large, you know, getting larger. And so at some point he's like, you have to stop just even for his health. But I was going to die. And so we started doing like a keto diet. I think back then even we started Atkins first, because Atkins was very popular. I don't think keto was a popular thing yet. The term, I mean, ketosis was the whole premise, but the term, the keto diet, I think that came a couple years later. So we did the Atkins, which is very similar. You know, you just did like a protein diet. But we were a little more loosey-goosey back then, where we even they had these Atkins bars, which were a terrible idea. Those are not going to help you out. But we love these like chocolate peanut butter ones, which they did not help. You thought, oh, they don't have sugar and stuff, but they kind of threw you off. But before that, we were doing like bacon and eggs in the morning, and like chicken for lunch, and then like steak or ground beef in some way, like burgers for dinner. And we also did like, you know, like a lot of like cashews or almonds and things like that. And Richard used to love these like almond butters and cashew butters. Those are really good. But and even used to do a lot of jerky. They used to have this grass-fed jerky. The organic jerky kind of sucks. It's like really hard, and it's like you break your teeth on it. But we found that the grass-fed jerky was kind of nice. So I don't know, some things you're like, man, the healthiest one, it just doesn't satisfy. Yeah. But I try to do the grass-fed beef. I feel like that's the most important thing, even more important than the organic, because one thing, it's good for the cows. So it's really torturous when they do only like partially grass-fed, and the most torturous is no grass, because all cows want to do is just graze in the grass. So I know about a lot of people that are vegans, or you know, and I was a vegan for like 11 years. Let me take a drink of water. My mouth gets dry out here. I'm in the desert. Yeah. Where's the tumbleweeds? thought the quails were roadrunners. I never knew the size of a roadrunner. You just watch it. Was it Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner? I thought he was a little guy. I guess they're big. So I thought these little tiny quails, because they run just like the roadrunner, kind of like, but like they scurry across the road. It's the cutest thing. And
They run so fast.
yeah, they're just like they're a roadrunner. But anyways, what was I talking about before that?
We're talking about
I don't remember.
Casper.
I totally lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it. Oh, the diet. And yeah, so we did the Atkins, and then we had fallen off because the Atkins. The hard thing with the Atkins, that's like when you do the Atkins bars, those just kind of like made us like not stick with the protein.
But this is actually kind of relevant because I mean, think about all those military people.
Yeah.
70% are overweight.
Yeah, the same. So, but the key is the protein, you guys. Whether it's the zone diet or the keto diet or the thing like the key. Oh, I was talking about the cows. So the cows love grass, and the best thing is to let them graze in the grass, and then it's not really that bad of a life. They're just grazing. That's what they like to do, anyways. You know, and as long as they're humane to them, that's why the organics and the grass fed, they're humane to the animals. All they do is just eating grass all day. It's like, but when you take the cow away from the grass and you shove them all in a warehouse or something, that's the inhumane stuff. And I don't eat that meat. I try not to. I mean, if we can't afford it, then I'll, eat, because some of the stuff we get probably is that way, the cheaper stuff. But I try to spend money for not just me, but for the animals. And so even though I eat an all-protein diet of meat, like a meat protein diet, and I know you can do vegan protein, but a meat protein diet, I try to make it the best scenario for the animals that I'm consuming, because I am part Native American, and I think I like the braids. I've always liked braids. I know I look like a little kid, but I've been doing this since I was a little kid, and for some reason my hair is not my hair is not good hair. I don't know if you guys know that. I mean, I've always had thick, and some people call it pretty. When I was younger, now it's getting thinner and thinner as you get older. That's one thing. Hair starts to go. Every day you lose hair, so if you do the numbers every day, as you get older, you're going to lose less hair. But I would lose, not less, more hair. But anyways, I say the wrong things all the time. I have a dyslexia of speaking, where I swap my words all the time. Oh, I'm terrible with left and right. I'm thinking right, and I say left, I'm going to go left. And I'm like, no, wait, where are you going? I say, go left. And he's like, but you're pointing right and he's saying left. I was like, oh, okay, this way. Yeah, this way. This way, right? Yeah, that way. So your direction is terrible, Joy. So I try and stop because the Siri is better than me now. But for a while, I'm really good with directions, but I'm annoying about it because I'm like, get over, we're in a mile, we're going to be getting turning right, so you better be in the right lane. And he's like, we got a mile. Oh, yeah, no, but be in the right lane because in a mile we're turning. Don't be doing it the last second like these shenanigans here. I drive like the old ladies. I'm a very good driver. All of my accidents were not my fault except for my DUI when I was 21. Or was I 22? 22. I say numbers, sometimes I'm wrong. 22. And I was trying to do a lot of things at once, as a drunk person would do. I was eating a burrito. I was texting my stepmom saying I don't need a ride. Not calling her, texting. And trying to get off an exit and looking down the text, and I went off the exit and rolled my car into a ditch. And it really disturbed me because I didn't remember. I woke up in the hospital. I didn't remember what happened. But other than that, that was a really bad one. That was a bad one. I'm so glad I didn't no one got hurt or anything. But I did total my car. But that was when I was 22, and that's when I first went into AA. And I stayed for 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And I would go every day to AA, several meetings. Alcoholics Anonymous, if you guys don't know what that stands for. But I enjoyed it. I didn't care. You meet a lot of creeps. So I met a lot of boyfriends that were the worst. The worst. It's not a good idea to date in AA. But I was young, I was 22, and so everybody, the older guys, I was dating a 45-year-old when I was 22. Oh, he was such a creep. But he was all into fitness. He was one of those, the muscle guys that do the what is it called? Where they do where they have to be where they are like their stomach has to be completely ripped and themselves really tan, you know, and they have to get so fit. All those guys are insane. The routine those guys do is insane. Like, and he wanted me to do this kind of stuff, and I'm like, I've never been that into working out. I'm like, I'll do a little bit. I'll do my thing. But he wanted to be my trainer. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this setup. I don't like my boyfriend being my trainer. I'm not happy with this situation because I want to tell you to go F yourself. But anyways, the things you do when you're young. But I've had a very interesting life, and I didn't mean for it to be so interesting. Like, I was a square. You know, I grew up in church. My parents were youth pastors. I was talking about when in L.A., they just said, have you ever done volleyball? I was like, oh yeah. So the house that my dance teacher let us rent was the best house I've ever lived in, which it was an old house. It was a really old house, but it was a ranch style house. It was just one level and it was massive. So it was like definitely as big as, because this is a duplex, like both of these two, if not bigger. So, and my grandpa had just died. So my grandma moved in and she took my bedroom for the first X amount of months. And then my dance teacher said, we're going to be getting a different house. And she'd been taking care of her mom. So it had like this whole like grandmother's quarters. And she's like, we can rent it to you guys for an affordable rate because we could have never afforded this level of house. It was like a really nice house, but it was old, but it was like really nice. And it wasn't that old, but it was like, you know, things weren't perfect, but it was like gorgeous. And it had like a lot of bedrooms, and it had like, you know, the living room and what's the other room? The living and they get the two of them. The family room. And then it had, you know, a huge kitchen. And then they had converted, I think, the garage into the grandmother's quarters, but it was like fully converted, you know, and there was I think she could even cook back there, and there was, you know, toilet and shower and everything. And then it was like one of the first times I had like my own bedroom, and I think there was like 3 other bedrooms, maybe even 4 other bedrooms besides the grandmother's thing. It's a really big house. And so my mom basically turned it into like a youth group house, and we would have the youth group over there, and this is not a loud thing. There's a quiet kitchen. They're all very square. There's no alcohol or anything like that going on. They're like church kids, and but there was this huge yard, so they put this volleyball net out there, and they would play volleyball all the time. I was terrible at volleyball. I just couldn't understand how it really hurt people's wrists, for one thing. I would have like bruises all over my wrists, and I'm like, like guards on my wrists or something? What's going on here with you guys? Maybe that's what they do. Probably do, huh? So I was like, this is terrible, but I was young. We didn't have socks or something. And I can't do that. Cut the top off. That would have been helpful. Man, I'd be like so bruised from the thing. And I was terrible at it. I never figured out what direction to get the ball to go when you hit it. Oh, yeah, you're going backwards again. Oh, there's a couple of sports I'm not good at all. Well, not a lot more than that. A lot more than a couple. There's like 2 sports I'm probably good at, and not that good. So there's more that I'm not good at. But I was one of those girls that was very athletic. So, like, if you were picking teams in school, I was picked before many of the boys, which really upsets the boys, and it really pisses off all the girls too. Because then they go Joy, and then they go back to the boys. It's not like Joy and another girl be like, oh, this really good, you know, athlete here, because you need to be picking teams for, like, if you're playing sports. I don't know if you guys, I went to a private school, so we did a lot of, like, PE, where you play, like, soccer, or you play basketball, or you play all these different things, dodgeball, different things, football, you know, flag football. And that was how we did our exercise. You know, we didn't, like, we would run around this little lawn, but it was a tiny lawn. Oh, it would take so many laps to do a mile around that little lawn. I don't remember how many, because we didn't have like a track, you know. The Christian school was in the church, so it was tiny, you know. It was like 150 kids, I think, ever at the most capacity they ever had. I wonder if it still exists, that school. Oh my gosh. But I went there from kindergarten to 8th grade. Maybe that's why I'm a little weird. I mean, I didn't interact with a lot of people because they put me in this weird kid school. I mean, the kids were smart, very intelligent. I mean, most of the kids are like the most intelligent. They're nerds in school. So I was going, I don't want to hang out with these nerds. Everyone that went to school was the biggest nerds. I mean, oh my gosh. I was like, no, I don't want to. And they were, you know. And then when I got to high school, though, I didn't know anybody except for the nerds, you know. And so I became a cheerleader, but I was a nerdy cheerleader, so I didn't really fit in. And the girls were partying and doing alcohol, and oh my gosh. So I was never invited to the parties. They'd be like, oh, Joy don't want that. Because they'd be like, oh, Joy, we had a party. I'm like, oh, like, there's alcohol. I was like, oh, yeah, thank you for not inviting me. Because I just didn't want to be around it. I was so scared. Like, oh. I had to a couple times visit my sister when she was living in San Diego, because she went to San Diego State. And she had like an apartment that was like right next to the college. And it was basically like an extension of the dorms. I mean, everyone was like just, they had these huge parties within the apartments. And actually, my dad was on the lease and he got mad because they ended up eventually getting kicked out because they did way too big of parties and people were jumping from the balcony into the pool. And so Sarah got kicked out eventually. But I would go visit, and it was only like a 2-bedroom. And there's like, I mean, there's probably like at least 50 to 100 people in this like 2-bedroom little apartment, college apartment. And I'm like a super square, like, oh, I don't want to be. And they're smoking weed, and I didn't like that at the time. And oh my God, I'm getting stoned, secondhand. And then the alcohol, I would hate if someone came in. I didn't like if they spilled on me and stuff. Like, I did not like being around alcohol. I didn't like the smell of it. I was like, get these drinks away from me. And so my sister would put me in one of the back rooms, which was probably her bedroom, because there was 4 girls that lived there, so it was 2 to 2. So I'm sure it was her bedroom. And on the bed, and she'd put me like all the way in the corner, and then put like a bunch of like pillows and blankets around me. Oh, so if you can imagine what would happen then. And she'd just go to sleep, Joy. So no one thought I was in there. And then they start coming in, kind of like the people were, having sex and everything. I'm like, oh dear, because I'm like so square, And then say, oh, get out of here, my sister's in here, oh dear, and she comes, a little nanny. Because my sister was only 2.5 years older than me, but at that time she was like, 10 years older than me. I was like, it was like bringing a 5-year-old, there. And I just, oh my goodness. And so my mom would be like, you want to visit your sister? And I was like, no, I don't want to go, no. But then she moved to Chico, and it was the same story. That's why I moved in. It was too much for me. So the funny thing is now there was a point that we switched where I became more like the bigger drinker. But when I was young, my sister she actually kind of had issues with, getting wasted too much and being the one that, passed out, or, people getting really mad at her for actions she had done. And so I kind of witnessed that. And then, after my mom died, it kind of became me. But now my sister does still drink. And I think it'd probably be best for her if she didn't, because we don't do well with it. But she's got 3 sons now, so she doesn't ever get out of control on any level. And she has a husband, and she's a teacher now. So she definitely, like, my sister was more wild before my mom died, and then she went more square after my mom died, where I was more square before my mom died, so we switched. And maybe it was necessary to experience both those. I don't know. Mine was definitely more wild than it probably needed to be. It took me a while to really kind of just like open up. Like, I think what happened is I was so hurt by my mom dying that I really closed off. I would cry, but that was only if I started to think about it. The other time, I don't want to think about it, so I became very stoic. Because I used to be someone that smiled all the time, my name is Joy. But like, you're not, it really sucked when my mom died, because they'd be like, you're not a very happy Joy, like always. And you're just like, I know I used to be. But my mom did make me Joy, because I was only 17 minutes of labor. So they went in, because I was born on my due date, and get this, they're going to just check up, because my mom doesn't know she's going to labor. And they get there, and they think I'm going to be a boy, so I'm supposed to be Matthew. And so my dad goes, can I stop at McDonald's? They stop at McDonald's, and won't tell the story. And she's like, sure, we're just going to check up. So they're sitting in the car, and then, he gets his McDonald's, and which did still, it existed in 1985. My dad used to love McDonald's. He doesn't like it now. He might still like In-N-Out Burger, but even that's not as good as it used to be. Nothing. It is like when you get older, you're like, yeah, it's not like when I was a kid. And it does get worse, and you go, man, do I just get used to everything just getting like a little bit progressively worse, like it's not working as well. Like, you need more Ajax, you need more conditioner, because the smaller amount used to work. Now you're like globbing it on because to get the same effect. It's like, and then you're wasting more, and then and then everything's more expensive already, and then you gotta use more. Where it used to be like, oh, just a little dab of these things, and you feel like fully, luxuriously soft hair, and now it's like half the bottle. Just kidding about that, but for real. And same with the lotion. Sometimes I put lotion, I'm like, I almost feel drier now. She did make me more dry putting on the lotion. But, so, I lost my train of thought. You know, these tangents. But, who knows at this point? Oh, yeah, so my birth. And so they stop at McDonald's, and then so that takes a minute. And then they get in, and they get my mom in a room, but not in like a full room, like in some sort of like halfway room, you know? No doctor there. There was like a midwife. And my dad goes, let me go call Grandpa to say that Matthew's coming, his dad. And so he goes to the phone, and in that time, a midwife comes in, and it's like, oh, you're dilated to 10 to my mom. And she's like, you're gonna have this baby like right now. And from the time my dad was on the phone, like I was born, so, and no one saw me born, it was just my mom. But I was only 17 minutes of labor, and I was a girl, so my mom wanted to name me Joy, because I was a joy to her. But my family really wanted a boy, so that kind of always threw me off, because that's why I'm kind of a tomboy, because they really didn't want a girl. My family's not girly. They're not. Like, oh my gosh, I was never taught how to do makeup. The only way I do my makeup, I learned from a girl when I was in the Air Force, when I was like about 19 years old, or 19, when I went to Ecuador. She did my makeup, and she did it much better than me. I couldn't even do most of what she did. But I kind of tried to replicate a little bit of it, and like the eyeliner I used, people were like, oh, it's so dated. I'm like, I don't know, I just do it. I'm an old lady. I look ridiculous if I try to wear like current makeup. I'm not young anymore. Like, I'm not trying to look 20. I never will again. That ship sailed. You realize when you're 40, you're like, yeah, people be nice. They're like, oh, you look 20, get out of here. Don't even lie to me. I do not look 20-ish. Not like you're 20, but like, you look in your 20s. No, you're just saying that because you don't want to offend an old lady. There's just no way. You don't think a 40-year-old looks 20. Maybe 30s. 30s and 40s we give maybe. You know, 30, 40, 50, maybe fudge around a little there. But no. No one as 40 ever looks like they're in their 20s. Your skin gets older, you get more wrinkly, you get the crow's feet, you know, you get lines on your face. You can't smile as much because, when you smile, your face just is all these lines and you look like an old lady, you know. When you're a kid, you get these huge smiles because you have like puffy cheeks and they just look beautiful and rosy. You know, I appreciate it, you guys. I know when you're young, I used to think my face was fat and I hated it. I'd be like, oh, these puffy cheeks, I look fat, you know, when I was very young because I always had... Oh, those go away when you get older, and you wish you had puffy cheeks. People are injecting them, and they look like wackos. But yeah, you go, oh, for puffy cheeks, and I have these lines and these sags and the crow's feet. Yeah. It goes fast, too. Like, you think, oh, I'm going to be I always thought, oh, I'm going to be one of those really pretty 40-year-old ladies. I'm like, I do okay, but nah, I think it was way less than I expected. For one thing, I just didn't see the crow's feet and the lines and you just look older. I'll look at my photos and I'll be like, yeah, I just looked way younger there, and I'm never gonna look that way. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't matter to me because it was a time in my life, and I had that time. You know, some people hate getting older. I'm like, well, you enjoyed the time you had before you got older. It don't really matter because, that was fun when I was 20, but yeah, I remember all that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good being 40 now, you know, because you're also so unaware when you're in your 20s, which is a beautiful thing. Being naive, but naivety? How do you say that word? Let me think it. Naivety? Is it naivety? I think it's naivety. I struggle with certain words. I don't know, I fluster on certain words. I'm a really good speller, but I didn't like spelling bees because I get flustered on certain things and I feel like an idiot. When you're naive, like, there's just so much hope, and you don't want to lose that too early. And that's why, you don't want, children to experience too much pain or discomfort at a young... Discomfort and pain is kind of the thing. But pain or, like trauma you don't want someone to have to experience things before they have to, if that makes sense. So children, what's beautiful about people get annoyed with children's minds because of all their energy and they're excited about everything, and you're like, just stop talking. If you have children and you feel like, oh, they're just gonna drain me with it, you just never stop going. But it's a beautiful thing, and when it goes away, it's like in the sense of, because like it goes away for everybody. Like as you get older, you get more tired. You don't have that boundless energy, and I really felt that in my 20s and 30s. And I think sometimes even with Richard, we forget because we met each other when we were younger. But now, like, we've grown old together, but we still kind of expect what we were able to do when we were younger. because we're like, oh, we can do that again. And we're like, we gotta realize it's been a long time since we did that. You know, there's certain things like you know, we're gonna go to LA as often as possible, but like if we went too often, like we are older, we're not in our 20s or 30s anymore. You know, I'm in my 40s versus his 50s now, so just certain things you just don't have this like. I mean, the trip actually went really well. That's why I was actually nervous because I'm like, you know, I did tons of road trips when I was a kid, and we do much longer, but, you know, I didn't know if, like, my arms were going to get sore or, like, my butt gets sore. But our car is actually very nice for road tripping. I feel very fortunate with that because I know some road trips as you get older, you know, your butt gets sore. The kids can, like, take a road trip forever. I mean, they get bored, but their butt doesn't usually hurt. You know, where adults are like, oh, gee, you know, your arms hurt if you drive and your foot hurts. I don't use cruise control. I hate cruise control. And I was like, why are these people driving so awful? And she was like, oh, they have cruise control and they're trying to not stop it. I was like, well, that makes them drive like a terrible driver. Turn the thing off. Because they get like right to this, you know, the second that like someone's behind and they switch over and I'm like, they're going to rear end these people. And then every time I'm like, it's unnecessary. Because they don't want to turn their cruise control off. I don't like cruise control. It feels very dangerous to me. My sister, when we were young, was just so dangerous. Do not do this. She was 16. I was too young to drive. And I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. I was such a square. We would be driving to LA. So as soon as my sister turned 16, we started driving to LA. Before that, they put us on the plane or the bus. They started doing the plane because we'd visit my dad from Northern California. But then they became cheapskates and they wanted to put us on the Greyhound bus. And me and Sarah were like, nah, this not. So Sarah, when she turned 16, we're like, we're driving ourselves to LA. But I wasn't old enough, so she would have to drive the whole way. She'd be putting on cruise control and putting her feet up. You know, I was like, it doesn't seem like a good idea. And it was a manual car, too, so you need a little more time. You got your feet, both of them up, you know, out the windows and stuff while she's driving. It's like, I'm pretty young, but I don't think that's a good idea. But my sister was a very bad driver. So I was talking about my accidents. So I've never been in an accident that's my fault except for the DUI. The other ones have always been 100% the other driver. Like completely, where this one I was driving, I was leaving work, I was working for the doctors. This is in probably 2011, but it could have been 2010. I don't know. Those years kind of merged together when I lived in Oregon and Washington. I forget. Because I got there in 2006 and I left in 2012. So yeah, it was like 6 years. I don't even remember which ones was. But I was living in Washington, but I was working in Oregon for the doctors. So I was having to commute, and I was leaving the office. But it was early in the day because it was before anyone was there because I was still opening the office. They hadn't opened yet. So it was probably like noon or 1. And so it's fully bright. There's no like, it's not darkness. And there's this grocery store. I think it was a Safeway is what they have. I think it's called Safeway. I don't even remember what it is, Kroger or something like that. At like a big store that's got, you know, like a massive parking lot. And the big grocery like the Smiths here. And I'm driving this little car, but it's not that small. It's a Subaru SVX. It was a 1994 Subaru SVX. And I bought it for my dad's friend. I just bought it like a couple months prior. And they were like, oh, this is his special car. Don't mess it up, you know, because they knew I was a good driver is why he sold it to me. I don't want to sell it to your sister. She's a bad driver. I don't want you to ding it up. You know, Joy doesn't get in accidents except for that DUI thing. And all my time, even like when I was young, even when I first got my license, I didn't get in accidents. I never dinged up cars or got scratches. So my dad always trusted me with cars. So like, oh, we can sell it to Joy. And so I bought it from the guy. And then we could trust, because they had a whole club. They had this SVX club. And they like treasured these cars. And they were cool, but you know, I didn't know like my dad. But I haven't, just maybe a couple months, like 3 months or something. I don't even know the number. And I'm leaving work, and it's just this, it's a street that's like 20 miles an hour. Like there's a doctor's office, okay? So you're coming out of the doctor's office, and then the next stop is the big grocery store, and you're supposed to go like 25. Like everyone's just going really slow. This lady is coming out of the grocery store in a massive, you know them like Buick station wagons from like the 70s or 80s, like my dad had one when I was a kid, where they beep when you back up, and they're huge. They're like eight passengers, and they got wood paneling on the side. This big thing with the front of it's just like bigger than my entire car almost, you know. And in the back, well, they don't have a back. They stop at the back, but it's got a very long part because they have the front where it has a massive seat, and then they got the middle seat was massive, and then they got the back seat where people sit the back way. We loved it as kids because Sarah and Justin always sat the back way, though. I was too young. I was the youngest, so there was 4 of us. I'm the youngest of my sister, but then I became the youngest with because my stepbrother was older than my sister. So it was me and my sister, and then we had 2 stepbrothers, and I was still the youngest of everybody. So I was always like, nope, Joy gets wherever no one else wants to sit. There was even a middle seat in the front. Sometimes I would sit up there with my dad and stepmom, but they're like, nah, you get in the back. But the back seat said, because you didn't, the front and back you could see more. But anyways, she hits me with one of those things, but she rolls out, and I'm like going 20 miles an hour, but now we're all kind of going 20, and I kind of see this lady coming, and I'm like, is she gonna stop? You know what I mean? There's like nowhere I can't stop because there's someone right behind me and there's someone right in front of me, and I'm like thinking she's gonna stop. You know, I mean, she's gonna stop, right? She's gonna stop, right? Like, and all of a sudden, plow right into my car. And I was like, you didn't see me, or like all this chain of cars. Like I just didn't know how this happened. And then my airbags go off, and we're only going like 20 miles an hour, and she's going like 5 or 10. I mean, it was like whoop, with that big, huge boat of a vehicle. So guess what? After, we find out we get the insurance and stuff, the woman was like, I think 93 years old, and they took her license after that. She was like pretty much like certifiably blind. So she didn't see anything, and she's just driving this thing. She has no airbags. I mean, she's not gonna get hurt. She's going to the store. Hope I don't, bumper cars out there. I was like, so now the car gets, it's not totally destroyed, but it's totaled because it's an old car, because this was in, 2010, 2011, and this is from a 1994 car. So it was only like a $4,000 car. So it was going to be, close to that in damage. So they totaled it. So, but it's only the front side, because that's what she does. She doesn't like push my car on any level. Everyone stops, but she just plows right into my airbags go off, which actually obstructs a lot of stuff on the inside though, because those airbags like explode in the car. It's a really unfortunate, and that's the big price damage. Both of them exploded. Even though there was like no passenger, because it was like the way she hit me was like thought they were just, I don't know, or they're old and they didn't have where, it was too old to know if there's a passenger or whatever. It just goes off for everybody. But so she plows in the side. So then, they're so mad at my dad's club, and my dad still bought the car from the junkyard for like, I think it was only like $850. But he bought it and he used part of the parts for his other car. But they just gave me so much crap about this, and I'm like, a 93-year-old blind lady hit me. I mean, the only thing I could have done is just not be in that exact situation at that moment. Like, if I'd just been like a couple minutes earlier leaving the office or a couple minutes later. But like, once I was there, I mean, there was nowhere to go. And there was a road right next to it. It wasn't like I was in a one lane where we're going one way and the other lane's going the other way. It was like I couldn't swerve. It was like I'm just watching this lady plow right into my car. But that, and then another time I was in Oregon. This was definitely 2011. So it was like I had 2 accidents right away that neither of them were fault. There's this highway that I think it was called like the 81 or the 82, but where Richard lived, because I think it was, no, this was right before I was with Richard, but we used to work where Richard lived at the condo building. That's how I first met him. This may have been, I don't remember what year, but it's somewhere in that time frame before 2012. There's this turn that was really sharp. So you're coming off like 2 other highways, or at least one other highway. And then there's a turn like that, like almost like a full U-turn kind of turn. And there's always traffic. And so if people don't know that, when they come around the bend, they don't know there's going to be stopped cars there. But I knew that because I'd been going there for a long time. But I was like on the end, and you're always like, I hope no one like rear ends me. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm sitting there and I'm stopped, and then I see this person coming, and they're coming through my rearview mirror, and then I get smushed into the one in front of me because we're stopped traffic. So that totaled another car. And that was when I lost all my like boogie boards and stuff. They were in the trunk. And the way the person, they smushed my trunk. I always had cheap old cars, so it wouldn't take much to total them. The accidents weren't that insane, like where the car probably could have been fixed if it was a car of any value. But if the car's only like worth less than $4,000, they usually just total them, because any sort of body repair is usually going to be a couple thousand, and then if the airbags went off, those things are, not cheap either. So it doesn't take much to total a car when it's a cheap car. So, but yeah, those are my things. But then I've never had an accident since I've known Rich, except for the thing that I did the other day. And that's why I'm so irritated with it. When I hit the dumpster, the concrete around the dumpster, it irritates me so much, because it was like well, we've been together 13 years, and I'd never tapped anything. I'd never gotten a scratch on the cars, not unless I was driving and a rock hit it, but that I can't avoid, you know. But I don't even know if that ever happened. But I never was like visually saw something that I had, you know, and it made me so mad. But now I'm like, I don't even want to drive. Like, I'm pouting about it. I'm like, But it was fun. It was fun driving half the way to LA, but I don't really like driving in Vegas that much anymore. I really do kind of just like, after that it was a good thing for me to be like, Richard, you just drive, because I loved driving. I don't know if you guys know that. I love driving. Like, my family are drivers. My grandpa drove bus in New York City for 30 years, and then before he died, he drove bus in LA till he died. He died at 64, so I don't know the exact time, but it was a long time. And then my dad's dad drove truck for Rainbow Bread when I was a kid. And then my dad's brother is a truck driver. He owns his own semi-truck. And then his sister's husband, who they got married when I was very young. So I had step cousins and a step uncle before my parents got divorced, because my dad's sister got divorced really early. And so I had these cousins that they're like, these are your step cousins, you know, and I was very young. But my uncle, he now passed. I actually really liked my Uncle Dave, but he was my step uncle, but I knew him from when I was very young. But he was a truck driver, and my aunt and him did it together. They went on like the road for many years, but then I think they eventually stopped and, you know, retired or whatever. But he ended up dying from Crohn's disease, which really sucks, because there's been a couple people in my family that have died from that. So, and I really struggle. But he was step, but there are people that are blood that struggle with my family. My dad has the irritable bowel, but because I really do struggle with things, and then it didn't help the havoc I've done on my body, because I struggle with digestion a lot. And then, you know, but when I go to New York and when I drink, I found when I drink, I get like diarrhea the entire time. And so it's clearly like it's not good. When you're doing that, you're like, this can't be good for me. Like, it happens immediately. And at first you're like, oh, that's nice if you like sometimes I get constipated TMI. But then I'm like, okay, now you're like, okay, I'm done. Like, there's a point where you're like, okay, I'm like I'm feeling sick because I can't stop. And so there's so many things that happen when I drink that I'm like, why would I continue doing this? Like, it's just weird that it's even something that I even desire. You know what I mean? That I get frustrated with myself. It's like, all these terrible things occur, and at the end I feel absolutely horrible, and then I have to go through this horrific withdrawal and recovery thing. But then I'm like, let's do it again. You know, like, it's like the thought that, like, why would I? It's so weird. It's weird that, I don't know, everyone I guess has their little thing that they almost allow of, like, I'm gonna do this even though it's unhealthy, and those things are hard to break, because you really should be healthy. You should be good to yourself, because you'll feel better. You think like, oh, healthy's boring. I used to think that. Okay, we used to call them granola eaters, the healthy people, when I was a kid. And I thought, I'd be one of those hiker granola eaters, which was my sister. My sister, she loves thrift stores and she loves hiking. And she's like, and my dad, they like Tivas and stuff. And they're the kind of the granola people. And I just always thought, you guys are, oh, my sister would get the most boring, like, substitution for milk. Now they've gotten better. Back then it was like, you could drink that. It completely destroys the cereal. You know, now the almond milk. And actually, you know which one I like? I like the oat milk. Have you guys had the oat milk? If I were to ever do something like that, I don't know if that's any better, but it seems like better than probably dairy. But oats aren't great for you either. But the almonds, you know, I heard the issue with the almond milk is I think they say it costs a lot of water to make almond milk, and a lot of almonds. And it makes sense, because we're doing way more, because people are consuming way more almonds than they ever did through almond milk and almond butter and stuff. Where to consume that many almonds, like to just eat them, oh, I don't know if you guys ate a lot of almonds. You'll be tired at some point eating almonds. I mean, literally you can't even, like, your mouth will be so dry, and you try to eat like, so when I was a kid, my stepbrother, Justin, the one that passed away, was a little cruel to his younger brother, who is autistic. And suffers from a couple of other things too that's really caused him to have like a very low IQ and stuff. And his IQ was only like 60 back when they tested when we were kids. And so he would kind of mess with him, and I loved Sean. me and Sean were buddies. Like, a lot of people tried to treat Sean like he was different. I never did. I just treated him like he was. I mean, we were kids. I treated him the same. But I've always done that with So I worked with the Special Olympics a lot and the special needs, and my mom worked with the special ed too. So I learned that you just treat them the same. Like, you don't. Some people treat them like they're different. Like they're gonna hurt you, and it's like. They get mad when they're treated different. Is when they get angry, you know. And yeah, there's like Annette when I first got here, you know, she got very angry at me, but I didn't respond, and I just let her express her anger. Like, you know, she would body check me when, you know, we first moved in because she wasn't comfortable, and she kind of was like testing me, and I just was like, I know this eventually you'll get tired of this because you want a response, and I'm not gonna give you a response. I didn't say this to her. It was all just I just would walk away, you know, and then go back to the room, and then try again the next day to cook or something. And when I say, Richard, you better go out there, and that's, you know, his mom out there. And, you know, day in, day out, when she saw me trying to, you know, I wasn't hurting the family in any way. And, you know, we had our moments, things that people like to bring up, and those things were very few moments, you know, but they were very impactful. And those are the moments that have kind of changed a lot of things too. Some of the ones where like a transition would happen after those very impactful moments, like the pancake gate. The next day is when Annette wanted to go to the hospital, and that's how we got her back on her meds. Otherwise, she wouldn't take the meds from us. We had them. She got off because the doctor messed up and the order didn't go to the pharmacy, and then the pharmacy kept telling us to come back each day, but then we found out it wasn't even ordered, and then we had, so by the time, because they kept saying, oh, it'll be there tomorrow or tomorrow, it was like 3 days, and then it turned into close to a week. By then Annette didn't want anything to do with the meds, and so then we're like, we can't get her back on meds, so she was getting worse and worse. This is back in 2023. And that whole pancake incident happened, which everybody was hating on me about. And the next day, this was how it happened. Annette, for years, if we said you want to go to the doctor, she'd be like, hell no, and she would take off, basically. She would literally say, hell no. And I don't know if you guys that sounds like, hell no. And then she would take off and be like, you guys are going to take me to the doctor? And so this one day, this has been going on where we were trying to get her to eat because she started emaciating herself. She stops eating when she gets off her meds. Sorry, I'm like, my mouth is so dry. I really put on chapstick. I tell you, I think it gets worse. It wasn't like chapstick brand, but it's I think it was all this white stuff. It's just damn chapstick. I hate that. But anyways, that day she'd been getting skinnier and skinnier and skinnier, and she was losing her voice because she was so skinny, and she was just smoking and just drinking Diet Cokes. And this was when she was still doing the caffeine Diet Cokes. So she was just bouncing around on her caffeine, and which now she's back to it, but she doesn't do nearly like she used to. It's just like, it's way mellower now because she's on her meds. And it's like, we're really monitoring it, and she's doing good. But this was when it was like all crazy, and just everything was berserk. And we had no control of it. I mean, we couldn't tell her to do anything. I mean, we tried to like get out of her way if she's coming down the hall, you know, she might hit you or something. So we just like, oh, let her do what she wants. So we would try to kind of like, we started to kind of try to monitor things more, like, let's, you know, make sure she's eating the right food and stuff. So that's kind of how it all started. But at first, we had no control. We just like let her do what she wanted. And so this was during the beginning, and we're kind of just letting her do it while we're trying to, you know, feed her healthier. And we were feeding her steak at the time, and she was really loving the steak, but she would not eat anything else. And she was getting so skinny because she would only eat protein, and then she was walking like 10 miles a day because she was like in and out, in and out. And so she was getting real thin, and she wouldn't drink water, so she's like foaming out the mouth. So she comes in, and I had made a steak for her, and I said, Annette, you need to eat some of this steak. And she's like, I need some cigarettes. And I said, Annette, I don't want you to get mad at me, but unfortunately I can't give you cigarettes right now until you eat a little bit of this steak, and because you're getting very, very unhealthy. And she was like, then we said, because Annette, if you won't eat, then you have to go to the hospital. And she's like, I want to go to the hospital. And we're like, okay, you want to go to the hospital? She's like, yeah, I don't want to eat. And we're like, okay, you want to go to the hospital? And she's like, yeah. So we're like, okay. She's saying she wants to go to the hospital. Pack up, but let's get her in the car. And because she always had said no. So that was the day, and that was the day after the pancakes. But like, she would not eat anymore. Like, she had been eating steak, and then because I had gotten her to eat the steak before, you know, with the cigarettes, and this was like, she was like, no. So she was getting more rigid of like, we used to be able to do the cigarette thing, and then this time it was like, no. So she's like, the hospital. And it was the best thing that ever happened because the hospital can get her back on the meds. We can't force her. None of us have the legal, nor would we like to physically force her. She would hate that. But we don't, legally we can't do that either. But we wouldn't physically. That would be insane to try to like hold her down. So there was nothing we could do, and she was getting worse and worse. So when she went to the hospital, then now she's been on her meds ever since. And first we were giving her the pills every day, but now she does injection, and the injection is so great, and she's going this week. And it really seems to work better, especially when she first goes. She seems to feel really good after, but then it starts to wear off a little bit towards the end of the month. But the medicine seemed a little bit more erratic, and they do say this is a more steady thing. So I really like that they were able to do that. And for years, she didn't want to do an injection. She didn't trust anybody, but she really likes her doctor. And we send her in there and they let us know. They send us out her now with paperwork if we need anything. So I was wondering, because we used to go in, but they'll send her in if like she needs labs, or they sent one time saying that they were going to do her flu shots or something next time. So they know that we're like, waiting for her outside. Because we went in for the first probably year. I would go in with her every time and sit there with the doctor. But half the time, sometimes the doctor's there, sometimes she's looking at the doctor on a screen. And it just kind of got weird because she's not an invalid, and she likes to do her own thing. So it was like, I always kind of felt weird, but I felt that, but it was good I did it for the first year. But now she just loves doing it. She's very independent now, so proud of her.
You're doing fantastic.
All right.
It's on a roll.
Yeah, are you ready to take over?
Almost over an hour and a half now.
Oh, good. Are you ready to take over?
Yeah, I'll come chow.
Yeah, cool. Do you want to sit in this chair? It's pretty comfy out here. Okay, you want me to bring it in there? Are you sure you don't want to sit in it? It's pretty nice. Okay. All right. All right.
Come inside.
Okay, I'm going to bring in all these goodies. Thank you, guys. Had a great time. Here, I'll give you the microphone.
Yeah, give me the microphone.
I had a really good time today. The weather was great after the sunset a little bit. It was like, it was a little hot when I first got out here, but now it's like perfect out here. Here you go.
Let's take a look.
Oh, you look handsome today.
Well, you look handsome today.
I'm a lady. I'm a man.
Yeah, I'm like a goldfish midge. All right, look at this.
You guys put all that stuff out before they came?
I think so. Go take a look.
You put the,
See what's still out there. See if they took anything.
yeah, that's great. You guys got it.
Double check, because Zoe was like, "Are you sure they're gonna take it?" I was like, "I hope so."
Well, there was still stuff up there, right?
Yeah.
There was still stuff in here.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. So,
Water? I'm gonna leave you water.
no, not really.
I'll leave you just
I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, grab my visor. Grab my visor.
Oh, yeah, which color you want? Blue?
The green today. Man, it is clear out there. Does that look cool? I love that. That is the stratosphere. Man, it is clear. It is that is a very clear shot of the strat right now. Nice. Joy and I and Gloria, Joy and I took Gloria out for her birthday in 2015, when we first got here. Yeah. Yeah, let me see. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like it. I don't know if I feel like doing nunchucks. All right, I'll try. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so we had dinner up there. Yeah, I'm trying to debate if I want to do nunchucks or not. I'm feeling a little lazy today. We got baseball today. Yeah, man. Jared, those Mets. I think they just, I think it's because like we were talking every day and the universe was like, dude, it's so awkward because they want to talk baseball, but it's like, how can Jared act all happy when like the Mets are killing it and the Rockies are literally going for like the worst record in it. It's just a really weird dynamic. And so they said, here, let's level it out. There, now both of you guys have the worst team in the league. I mean, I was kind of hoping that they would boost the Rockies, so maybe make the Rockies hit the playoffs or something, and then we would both go, and maybe, who knows, Rockies versus the Mets in the playoffs. I mean, it sounds crazy now, but at the time it didn't seem crazy, and I put my bet on it, and that didn't happen, but, what are you going to do? Okay. Oh, look. It's not actually me. It's an allegory of me. That could be cool. Kind of artistic anyways. All right, the allegory of the Jedi Rich. Okay. The reason why I'm hesitating doing this is because my shoulders, this shoulder right here is hurting. So I probably should do it. So we're gonna transform my shoulder into something more healthy. And these things really help with that. Gloria's in there. She's been rocking out music all day long today. This tells me she's in a good mood. She had a nice breakfast. Then we made them a nice lunch today. Oh, Annette and I are just we're getting so close. We just like we really enjoy our time together. No, I have my other ones, the bifocals over here. These are, they don't seem that heavy, but when you go whipping them around like this, they got a lot of force, like centripetal force, or is it centrifugal? Which is it, centripetal, or centrifugal? Which force is this generating here? Does anybody know? Anyways, tell me if it's centripetal or centrifugal, and that's the force it's generating. Okay. Now, the allegory of the nunchuck. Okay. How was that? That was like, it's like if I was doing something. Let's just say I was like undercover, or doing some like witness protection or something for the FBI or something. They called me in, and they said, "Okay, yeah, we're not going to release your identity." I said, "Okay, cool. All right. So what do you want to know?" And I just started doing my nunchucks. What do you guys need to know? Yeah, just make sure you promise no one can see my face, right? Okay, cool. Or, yeah, good. Because I don't want anybody to know who I am, because it would totally blow my cover, and my whole undercover operation would be destroyed. Can you imagine? I'm all doing nunchucks and stuff. You're like, isn't that nutball that constantly does those nunchucks? Oh. Yeah, I just don't feel like it. Okay, fine. We'll do some push-ups. As much as I don't feel like doing push-ups, how I feel is really irrelevant. Because, hey, listen, I was listening to the President of the United States. They were saying, man, we got an issue that everyone, I mean, the military is like 70% overweight now. 70%. So, I mean, I know I'm not in the military, but geez, like, let's just say that there's, they're making cuts, I want to make sure that, I don't know. Come on, let's see if we can do 20. I don't even know if that would suffice. Hold on 1 second. Sorry for the whiplash. Okay. 20 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There, I did 5 extra. That way, if anyone says like one of them didn't count, and I did 5 at the end. So use one of those. Sit-ups? No. No. We're not gonna do sit-ups. We're gonna do high kicks. I'm just kidding. We're not doing high kicks. Come on, guys. You gotta make the president proud. Everybody, do your push-ups. He doesn't want no beardos. No, so I went with the, you guys see that? I went with the mustache. He didn't say anything about mustaches. He said no beardos. So, you know, how am I doing? Getting there. If he shows up, you know, I mean, I don't want to be, you know, being all like, you know, 20 pounds over with a beardo. He'd be like, Jedi Rich, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. Joy, I'm leaving this stuff out here because I can't carry it all, and the glasses. Hello. Thank you. Okay. It's done. It's been done. We already had some. Everybody already ate. Everybody ate and enjoyed themselves. Okay. We're going to do a little test. Okay? In that test, YouTube released a new feature on their app today. What they released was the ability to stream in dual format. And that's and when you do vertical, that's what I'm doing. So we're going to do a little test right now. We're going to see how the stream looks when we go the other direction as well. And so well, don't go anywhere. For the ones who are watching this on your phones, it should say the same, maybe a little bit different in the formatting, how close I am. But for the other ones, right now they're watching, if they're watching on a horizontal screen, what they're getting is the whole darn thing. They're getting the vertical. What do you think? Should we try it out? I don't know, I'm kind of scared. I don't want to mess it up. I better not mess it up. Let's not do that. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm going to mess everything up. I have so much trauma. I have like this PT. I have so much trauma, like doing something. Everything's cruising, and you go messing with it, and then try to make it better, and you make it 1,000 times worse. Which I think why like when like young people, like when I was young, always have these ideas to change all this stuff, and then old people are really stubborn. And they're like, no, we're not changing nothing. You're like, what? Oh my God, it'd be so much better. Oh my God. And they're like, no, we're not changing. And you can't figure out why. And then later on you're like, okay, I get it. Because once you get things working, it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it is broke, we can make it better. Well, it's working in the sense where like, you know, everything's flowing in, you know, everything's flowing. You're just trying to improve things. Okay. Hold on, let me get let's do it. 1 second. We're gonna get these off. Can you still hear me? Get these off. Can you still hear me? Good. Still got me. All right. Glory's listening to some very beautiful music today. Let me get a little bit of la 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 la. There. Something like that. Alright guys, let me try this real quick. This should be fun. We're gonna make it fun. Don't worry, it'll be fun. Oh. Hold on. Okay, well, I'll get back to that. Let me do this first, then we'll come back. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, very interesting. Okay. Oh. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay, so... Okay, I think I understand. Maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tried something new. Oh, hi, Jessica Hansen. How are you? What's going on? Joy, how's it look on your TV? It went small? Yeah. Did I just go really super small? Is what happened? Yeah, well. Listen, I'm going to go have some lunch, you guys. You prefer the vertical? I know, me too. I think so too. I think I'm with you on that. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Anyways, guys, thanks for a great stream. Please hit the likes, hit the subscribe, and we will definitely catch up with you guys on the next, maybe even later tonight. Who knows? We got some baseball starting here. What time? All right, we got baseball starting here in about 20 minutes. But it's playoffs, so let's get on that. Yeah, let's take the visor off. Joy says I look better with a hat on. She says that you look better, and so I'm not gonna argue with her. I mean, do people look better with hats on or not? Does anybody know? Anyways, y'all have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.